Hey, Jessica, do you have a minute? I just heard something that was really hard to believe and wanted to confirm it with you. Is it true that you dropped out of high school? Huh? I know, I'm sorry, this is really sudden, but I just heard from Carl and it's kind of making me lose my mind. Okay, so Carl proposed to me and I said yes, and after I said yes, we got to talking about some stuff, and then all of a sudden he tells me there's something serious he needs to tell me, and that was when he told me that you were a high school dropout. Is that true? Yeah, it's just like Carl said. I dropped out partway through high school. But I don't know what he was being so dramatic about. Something like that is nothing worth bringing up right after proposing. I wonder why he thought it was so serious that he had to tell you that. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal? Not a big deal? It's a huge deal, Jessica. Are you out of your mind? No. Oh my God, I cannot believe you were a high school dropout. I didn't think that's the type of person you were. I feel like I'm gonna puke. All this time, I was treating you so nicely. I wanted to get along with you because, I was super serious about Carl and everything, and you're his sister. And now I find out you're a high school dropout? I feel so deceived. I don't really think deceived is a fair word to use in this situation, but you have to understand, Jessica, I'm an Ivy League graduate, and it's not just me either. Carl's an Ivy League graduate too. We're a high-powered elite couple. We can't be seen associating with the likes of you. I'm not really a fan of the tone you're taking with me right now. Tell me, Kylie, when Carl told you I dropped out of high school, did he tell you why I did? Oh yeah, he told me all about it. You got super sick with some disease in your freshman year. You were in and out of the hospital for the next 2 years and you missed so many of your classes that you weren't able to keep up, so you dropped out. Ah, okay, so he did tell you then. Yeah, that's right, I had to go stay in the hospital pretty regularly, sometimes for a month or two at a time. By the time everything settled down, I went back to school and all of my friends had kind of moved on without me. I felt so alone. So I figured, screw it. I dropped out and decided to just get a job and start working. I don't see what that sob story has to do with anything, though. I'm sorry you got sick, but being unlucky isn't an excuse. You're still a high school dropout and nothing can ever change that. Even if you went back and got your GED, you would still be a permanent member of the high school dropout class. Nothing can wash away that stain, Jessica. Really? Again, I really don't appreciate the way you're talking about me. Stain? Oh, good grief. This is one of the most humiliating days of my life. I was starting to really enjoy spending time with you. I was even looking forward to being sisters once Carl and I got married. We could go to the mall together, get our nails done together, maybe even do live streams together on Instagram. But you're a high school dropout. Yuck. Can I ask you something, Kylie? What is so bad about dropping out of high school anyway? Honestly, your educational history only really matters for the first careerish job you get. No one cares after that. As long as you work hard and get results, it doesn't matter where you got your degree from or what degree it even is. It doesn't matter? I don't believe what I'm hearing. It obviously matters a lot. I'm not going to waste my time explaining it to you, though. You're just a high school dropout. You wouldn't understand it. Wow. Suffice to say, educational attainment is everything these days. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know what the word suffice means? Look it up if you don't. Anyway, Carl and I are the only Ivy League graduates in the companies that we work for, and they treat us like absolute royalty. Carl got promoted to the managerial class years ahead of people who had been in the company longer than him. And my company basically organizes their project schedule around me being able to take part in as many of them as possible. Oh boy, how amazing. I am truly impressed. It's okay, Jessica. You don't have to pretend you get it. I mean, how could you get it? You're a high school dropout. I'll bet you didn't even understand half the words I used just now. Man, I feel so sorry for you. With your inferior intellect, you'll never earn anywhere near as much as Carl and I. You're going to be stuck doing menial labor for the rest of your life. That way of thinking only spread through the basis of high school guidance counselors and hasn't ever been true in the real world. There are all sorts of possibilities for people of all educational attainment levels, even high school dropouts. And let's not forget that some of the wealthiest people in the world today either didn't go to college or dropped out. So, no, lower educational attainment is neither a barrier in terms of job opportunity or income potential, provided a person has sufficient skills and knowledge. Shut up! I'm not reading all that copy and pasted BS, and I'm not interested in talking to someone who lacks the language ability to converse on my level. All that I wanted to tell you today was that I can no longer associate with you. The end. So never, ever try and contact me ever again. Got it? Kylie, are you serious about this? This is making me really sad. We've gotten along so well up until now. That was because you were lying to me about what you really were. I will not ruin my image by hanging out with someone as uneducated as yourself. From this day forth, I am obligated to hate your guts.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. Do you have any idea how much trouble you're causing me right now? Having a loser high school dropout like you for a sister sucks so much. Kylie and I just got in a huge fight and it's all your fault.
My fault?
I knew I shouldn't have told her that you were a high school dropout. Kylie graduated from an Ivy League university just like me, so we're both at the top of the intellectual ladder. I've been holding back on telling her the truth about you up until now because I was sure that she was gonna get really mad when she found out. But I mean, we're gonna get married, so it's not like I can hide it forever. I tried to do the right thing and be honest with her, so I invited her out to dinner and broke the news, and she started freaking out at me. Everything was going great between us. We were engaged, in love, planning our wedding, but then you had to come along and put a wedge in between us.
I will not sit here and let you act like I'm the one at fault for whatever is going on between you two. If you thought it was so serious, then you should have told her about it before you proposed. That's on you, not me.
Are you kidding? You think I was gonna tell her about you before proposing? If she had known what you were before I proposed, she would have said no for sure. My God, don't you understand anything?
I understand more than enough to see that both you and Kylie are completely out of line. What is with you two? Why do you treat high school dropouts like we're a leper colony? Having a slip of paper saying you're super duper smart doesn't mean anything. What matters is whether you can do the job or not. That's all.
Your low IQ is preventing you from understanding how the world works, so let me spell it out for you. You are a high school dropout. High school dropouts are dumb. The world doesn't need dumb people. Therefore, the world has no need for low IQ, lazy, useless high school dropouts like you.
Really, Carl? Really? I can't believe you talked to me like that. I'm your sister. You know how hard it was for me back then? You remember all the doctor visits, hospital stays, therapies, injections, and all the other stuff I went through. You have got no right to speak so cruelly to me, Carl.
I have all the right in the world to say whatever I damn well please to you, Jessica. Here's a new word for you to learn. Meritocracy. That means the people who have merit, like me, make all the rules. And the people who don't have merit, like you, will live how we allow you to. Why did I have to get stuck with a loser like you for a sister? All you are is one big fat burden on all the hard-working, intelligent people around you.
How am I a burden on anyone? I might have dropped out of high school, but I work hard, make money, and pay my taxes.
Here's another little tidbit for you, Jessica. Most people in this country take more money from the government than they pay in taxes. People like you can only live because there are Ivy League graduates like me and Kylie making enough to pay for the burden you place on the system. I managed to salvage my relationship with Kylie somehow, but I'm completely through with you. I don't want you to ever come around me or Kylie ever again. You know what? I think I'll...
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm just fine with never speaking to you again. I will never forget the way Kylie changed her attitude about me just because she found out I was a high school dropout. I would never want to associate with such a lying, backstabbing, two-faced elitist like her anyway. And the same goes for you.
I think I'll go ahead and give our parents a report about you. I'll need their help to make sure you don't try and mess with Kylie. You low IQ types are more prone to violence, so I might just have to get a restraining order against you. And don't you dare tell anyone else we're related or I'll sue you for slander.
Hey there, Kylie. I tried to message Carl about this first, but he never returned any of my calls or texts. I know we both agreed not to contact each other anymore, but I decided this was an emergency, so I have no choice. I'm standing in the family section of the wedding chapel right now, and there isn't a seat here for me. I'm guessing that was probably a mistake by the venue's staff. Could you contact them for me? Oh, that's no mistake. I told them not to put out a seat for you. You're not welcome at our wedding. Now get out of here. What? I don't understand. You had my seat removed on purpose? I was debating on what to do about you for a while, but in the end, I decided that I just didn't want any high school dropouts at my wedding. This is an elite wedding, Jessica. We're both Ivy League graduates. We're part of the overclass that runs the world. So we can't have a low-class dreg like you hanging around and ruining the atmosphere. I don't believe this. You actually went out of your way to have my seat removed? This is our wedding, Jessica, and what we say goes. And we say, you go. Now, do get out of here as soon as possible. You're blocking the view of the other guests by standing there. You're a real piece of work, Kylie. I know people are free to like who they like and dislike who they dislike, but this is far beyond a matter of likes and dislikes. This is you infringing on my basic human dignity. Is that what all of you so-called elite Ivy League graduates are like? Shut up, cretin. We are not so-called elite. We are bona fide elites. Look, this is for your own good anyway. You're just plain out of place here. Most of the people coming today are our college classmates. They're all Ivy League graduates, too. Plus, a lot of the higher-ups at our companies are coming, too. A pathetic little peasant like yourself would be just sad looking around at all the intelligent people with interesting and demanding jobs. You should be thanking me for kicking you out before you go and make a fool of yourself. This is unbelievable. What's unbelievable is the fact that you're still here when I've already told you to leave multiple times. This wedding is for elites only. There are no seats for low IQ, underclass peasantry like you. I see. Goodbye then. Good riddance. And for real this time, never ever come anywhere near us ever again. Gotcha. Have it your way. Once I go and tell your boss that I'm declining his request, I'll be on my way. Huh? He came up and talked to me a little while ago in the lobby. Looks like he's heard about me. He asked me to take on a certain job for him, but if I do, that means I'll have to go to your office pretty often. And since you're telling me you don't want me anywhere near you, then I won't be able to do it. Your boss is going to be absolutely heartbroken when I break the news to him. He was really excited about having the opportunity to work with me. I feel really bad things turned out this way, but what can you do? Hold on. What are you talking about, Jessica? Why would my boss know who you are? You don't even live in the same universe as us, and what job could he possibly want a miserable little high school dropout like you to do? Does he want you to clean the office toilets or something? He can find someone who actually graduated high school to do that. Sorry, but I'm not in the toilet cleaning business. I am, however, in the graphic design business, and your boss asked me to design the logo for your company's new product. I guess your company's putting a lot into this new product, and your boss is the lead of the product planning division. I guess he thought having the #1 logo designer in the country make the logo for him would create some buzz around the product. You're a graphic designer? You know, now that you mention it, I don't believe we've ever talked much about what I do for a living. I'm a freelance graphic designer. I was working in a design firm up until a few years ago, but I went independent. My reputation followed me, though, and I've built quite the client list up for myself. That's impossible. How can you go into business for yourself if you couldn't even graduate from high school? I don't think those two skill sets are related at all, honestly. In the real world, all that matters is results, and my results are world class. Results? What results? You didn't even stick around in school to get the results from your SATs. I've taken on logo design products for about a third of the companies on the Fortune 500 list. It's to the point where I have multiple billion-dollar enterprises bidding each other up to buy my time. I'm fully booked for the next 6 months at least, and I'm in talks with another company to pick up a new project right after that. Well, that's actually kind of impressive. I'm surprised you didn't know about my work. Your boss seems to be quite familiar with me. He said he's been meaning to have his people contact my people about the logo design sometime soon. What a crazy coincidence, huh? He just about did a backflip when I told him I could get the logo design finished within the year. He did? I was kind of looking forward to it myself. I haven't done much work in your company's industry before. Seemed like an interesting opportunity for me to expand my reach. It's gonna suck having to tell him I can't do it after all. Considering the circumstances, he's probably gonna ask me about why I'm doing such a rapid turnaround. So I'll just tell him the truth. I can't work for your company because you don't want me to come anywhere near you ever again. I'm sure he'll understand. Wait, don't do that! Why would you bring that up with my boss? It has nothing to do with him. Sure it does. That's the only reason I have to turn down the job he offered me. And it's the truth anyway. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. Look, just give me a second, okay? Jeez, I had no idea that you were doing that kind of work. How about we put our little feud on hold for a few minutes? Just enough for you to finish the logo. No thanks. I want to get the two of you out of my life as soon as possible. Oh no. I hope you enjoy your wedding, Jessica. Don't worry, I'll leave like you wanted me to just as soon as I get done talking to your boss.
Jessica, we need to talk. Is it true that you make more than me?
Ugh, just when I thought I could finally kick back and relax.
Mom and Dad just told me that. When they heard that we kicked you out of the wedding, they got super mad at us. I managed to get them to calm down until after the wedding, but right after all the guests left, they started absolutely tearing into me. They were all like, "How dare you treat your sister like that when she's far more elite than you'll ever be?" Then they started talking about what your job was and told me you make twice as much as me.
One minor point of contention, it's not a job because I'm the boss of my own company. But yeah, being my own boss means I'm free to make as much or as little as I want. And last year was a really good year for me. I think after taxes, I'll end up taking home about $200,000. You'll have to ask Mom and Dad for the specific number, though. They're the ones who I hired to do all my accounting.
This is insane! How could someone like you make that much? Especially someone working freelance! How do you make $200,000 working for yourself?
I told you before, Carl, in my industry, the only thing that matters is results, not educational attainment. Still, though, there are some midwits like yourself out there who think that having a degree from a prestigious university means everything. But all that meant to me was that I'd have to work even harder to prove myself, and I did.
Self! Even still, there's no way you should be making $200,000. You can't make more than me.
I know it must be hard on you, being out-earned by your high school dropout sister. Seriously, what gives me the right to prove myself in the world without relying on empty credentialism? Don't worry, though, I won't be around to humiliate you much longer. I'm never going to contact you again, just like you wanted.
Me? No, you don't need to do that. Actually, I've been thinking that I want to try and rebuild our sibling relationship.
Huh?
Since our wedding is finished and we're married now, the next thing me and Kylie need to think about is having kids. Both of us are high-powered elites with superior DNA, so all our kids are bound to be super intelligent. That's where you come in. If you taught your graphic design skills to our superhuman children, they'd be the best graphic designers in history.
Huh?
If an imbecile like you can pull $200,000 as a graphic designer, think about what my kids are going to be able to do. They'll be making $1 million a year before they're out of elementary school.
First of all, $1 million a year is, for all intents and purposes, impossible in this industry for an individual. Second of all, no. Literally no, I refuse. I've already decided that I never want to speak to you or Kylie ever again.
But why?
Isn't it obvious? You were the ones who started telling me to stay out of your lives in the first place, remember? Oh, and by the way, I have a message to you guys from our parents. They wanted me to tell you that they're writing you out of their will and that you're never allowed to come to their house again.
What? They can't do that to us. I'm their son. I'm an elite Ivy League graduate working for a powerful company, and my wife is just as elite as me. How could they even consider cutting off such an elite power couple?
Oh, they gave me an answer for that, too. They said that all the degrees and credentials in the world don't make up for an awful personality. Okay, well, my job is done here. Don't ever contact me or our parents again. Jessica, I'm begging you. Please do the logo design my boss wanted you to do. If you don't, then my career is practically dead in the water. Is that so? I can't believe you actually turned down the job my boss offered you. I thought you were just trying to scare me. You really did tell him about everything I said to you. He got super mad at me for all of that. He told me I was a disgrace to the Ivy League. I've never had anyone get that mad at me before. Now that you mention it, you did say something about your company treating you like royalty. Wow, you must have really messed up if he got that mad at you. About that, I guess my company didn't value me quite as much as I thought they did. What do you mean? Well, while my boss was reaming me out the other day, he said that he was finally going to give me the lecture he's been holding back on for all this time. I guess the reason that they had put me on so many different projects was damage control. They figured if I was spread super thin between a bunch of projects, I wouldn't be able to do that much damage to any single one. Yikes. He said he would rather have a high school dropout on his team than an Ivy League graduate like me. Now I'm in charge of finding a new designer, and if the new product fails, they're gonna fire me. Well, you're in quite the pickle, aren't you? And then there's my colleagues. They all saw how mad my boss was at me, but no one will help me at all. They're all afraid if they're seen working with me, they might get some blame for my mistakes. And this one guy said to me, "You're always bragging about your elite education, Miss Ivy League. Figure it out for yourself." My, oh my, Kylie. Looks like you've been hard at work earning the ire of your coworkers. Let me guess, you've been using your Ivy League credentials as an excuse to be a jerk to people who went to ordinary universities, right? Well, yeah, but what's wrong with that? I went to an elite university. I am obviously more elite than someone who went to some average public university. There is a lot I'd like to say to you, but I don't think it'll do any good. Please, Jessica, will you please do the logo design for us? If you agree to take the job, my boss will forgive me for sure. I'll get my career back on track and you'll get a high-paying job from a major company. I'll pass. It's like I told Carl, I'm done with you two. You told me you don't want to speak to me anymore, so I'll oblige you. I told you, we can put that silly little feud on hold for a few months. I'll stop bashing you for being a high school dropout. Maybe I'll even let you tell people you're my sister-in-law. So please, you've got to help me out. Nah, I don't feel like it. Please! You're finally getting a taste of your just desserts. Jessica, I am begging you. And with that, I am very busy, so I'm gonna get back to work. I'm sure you can solve any of your problems all by yourself, Kylie. After all, you're an elite Ivy League graduate. Kylie was never able to find another designer to take the job. Her boss had finally had enough of her failures, so he had her transferred to a smaller branch on the outskirts of town. In what can only be described as cosmic irony, her new manager is a high school dropout and 5 years younger than her. He's an incredibly talented businessman, but he's rather strict with his subordinates. I guess within a week of her getting transferred, he told her, "I would rather have a middle school dropout on my team than you." So she's having a pretty hard time of things right now. As for my brother, he was really hit hard by my parents cutting off contact with him. It was so hard on him that he actually wasn't able to get out of bed for about 10 days straight. He used up all his paid time off, and his company told him that if he didn't come back to work immediately, they were going to replace him. I have an old colleague who works at the same company, and I talked to her about how things were going with Carl the other day. Apparently, they're already interviewing some people for his position. And the top candidate is, drumroll please, a high school dropout.
Man, I was so surprised today. It's been since our graduation ceremony at college since you and I last saw one another. And for me to run into you again is just wow. By the way, you started working at the bank after you graduated, right? Well, I never knew you were working at that bank of all places. I was just as shocked as you today. I never thought I'd be running into someone I knew from college today at work. From what I heard through other people, you happened to get married right after you graduated, right? You already know that one to be true, Cindy. After all, the man I married happened to be your ex-boyfriend, Jackson. It's because of me stealing him from you back in the day that I'm able to be happy all the time with him. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Huh? But listen, I've been worried about you this whole time, Cindy. You really loved Jackson back then, and I didn't know what kinds of things stealing him from you would do. You ended up taking time off school after you found out I was the one that took him from you, right? I'm glad to see that after something as tragic as that, you were able to get yourself a job and are working. Stop talking about all of that like it wasn't a huge problem. What the heck do you mean you've been worried about me all this time? No way you've been. I've been more worried about you because of how mentally unstable you are. What? I am still not over what happened back then between you and I. I had always thought of you as my number one friend, then yet, because of that sadness and hatred I felt after you took my boyfriend, I was never able to get over it. Stop trying to act like you're still a victim to that. Back then, I was just young and made a mistake. I was jealous of you because you had gotten yourself a man that works for a huge company, and I really wanted him for myself. And that's why I began to make myself a little closer to him, if you know what I mean. Well, it's because of me and my beauty that I was able to keep him, and right after graduation ceremony, him and I got married. And right after being cheated on by my boyfriend and having my best friend end up being the one doing so with him, I left the two of you behind and started to work on finding myself a proper job. However, while that was all going on, you continued to harass me with comments about how you didn't need to find work because you had a rich man by your side now. I am really so happy I married Jackson. He's able to bring in a ton of money for me, and I never have to leave anything for anything besides leisure. And when it comes to things like chores, he says I don't even have to worry about them. All he wants from me is me at his side, as that what makes him happy. Oh, that's so amazing for you. But, as I was thinking, never having anything to do really leads to one becoming bored, right? As that's why I've gone out and made myself a business. I'll be going from a housewife to one of the best business owners in the city. You're going to become a business owner? I want to make myself a salon where I can get other women like me who have a lot of free time on their hands to come work. And I'll make sure that they are taught how to treat really high-end models and rich older women's hair. That way I can make millions. That's why I ended up going to the bank today to get some financial support, and you happened to be there. I was laughing my butt off at that time. Someone like you ended up as a single woman and now have to spend every day of your life working to support yourself, right? Huh? Your last name hasn't even changed yet, so that means you don't have a husband, right? Could this be because you still can't get Jackson off your mind? I'm sorry, but I'm married right now. My husband happened to take my last name, and so that's why my name has not changed at all. You're lying. Someone that had their boyfriend stolen from them from right under the nose has a husband now? Well, I suppose there are men in this world more hopeless than you. I'm sure that he has nothing special about himself, and that's why you settled from him, right? That's not true at all. He cares a lot about his career and is someone I can count on quite often. Actually, he happens to be a department manager for the company he's working for. What? A department manager? I actually married him after we both met working in this bank. Hold it. You stop right there. To be a department manager at a large bank like that would mean he's kind of an elite, right? The fact that you were able to land a husband with such an amazing job and income as that, I can't fathom. Now, I'm really busy with work still. See you. I hope you can get that business of yours rolling.
Cindy, come and help me. What the hell is up with this friend of yours?
Huh? What's going on with you?
Just a bit ago, she came in saying that she plans to start a business of her own, and that she'd like some financial support with it. I asked for another one of my employees to handle that for me, to start looking into her history and all that to see if we could accept her and let her get a loan through us. And just after talking for a bit through my employee and settling the conversation, we thought she'd gone home. But she's back again, and now she's asking to speak directly to me. She keeps saying that she's friends with my wife, and it means I have to give her money right away.
What? Does her name happen to be Tiffany by any chance?
That's right, that's her. I tried to handle the situation myself, but she's asking me more about my private life than actually wanted to talk about business.
Huh?
She's asking me whether or not I'm getting tired of being married to you. And she's asked me many times now what types of women I like. What the hell does she want from me, this woman? Actually, do you really happen to have a friend as vulgar and stupid as this woman?
Well, I did have a friend like that at one point, but not anymore. I'm sorry that you've had to deal with her when you're so busy. She happened to be in the same class as me back in college, but there was a lot that happened and now I don't talk to her anymore. But actually, she ran into me today when I was walking into work.
There was a lot that happened between you two? She must be that really crazy chick you told me about before, right?
She happened to be that girl that stole my boyfriend from me while I was dating him.
She stole your boyfriend?
And because of that, she's been able to enjoy a really relaxing life as a housewife with him. Well, she just kept going on and on about how amazing her life is and bragging to me that I told her I had to go. But before saying so to her, I wanted to get back at all her bragging a little and told her that my husband happens to be the department manager here.
So that's how she became aware of me then.
You really don't have to worry about this anymore and get right back to work. If it doesn't look like you can finance her business for her, then just tell it to her straight.
Oh, I'm definitely not financing her. It already seems like the business she wants me to finance for her is a little vague. But there are also some other things in her past that are stopping me. Are you sure that woman is really married right now? Because the background check...
What do you mean by that?
When it comes to us wanting to start supporting someone with opening a business, we first need to know about the money they have currently. But she told me that with the amount her husband makes every month, we shouldn't have to look at her account balance and everything. And after that, all she continued to do was try and force us to look over her husband's income. The problem here is, the income statement from her husband is from 5 years ago.
5 years ago? That's not going to help her get her funding at all, right?
I told her for the time being that it might be a little difficult for us to get her any money. But then she asked me what she could do to get me to give her funding from the bank. She kept begging me to tell her what she could do, and then she handed me her number and walked out.
Huh?
Of course, right after getting it from her, I threw it away. But seriously, something about all of this isn't right.
She came into the bank asking for money, but the only way to prove she was financially stable was her husband's income statement from 5 years ago. I thought I had seen it all working for the bank, but that right there is just wild. If she really happens to have a husband that can make enough money for her to stay home all day, then why can't he fund her new business?
I don't understand why that isn't happening either, because that seems like a way easier option for her.
Do you want me to take over this problem for you? I'm really sorry all of this ended up on your plate, but I'd really like to handle it before things get out of hand, and she comes after you.
Huh? Are you sure you're okay with that? Aren't you busy yourself? You just became this bank's executive this year, right? So you have so much you need to do already. Having to take on the work I should be handling is not something that'll go over well with your workload, right?
No worries, Martin. I'm actually quite embarrassed that someone from back in my school days has come back and caused my husband all kinds of trouble. I'll deal with Tiffany from now on, so if she comes in again, send her to me. And if she's come asking about the financial support she'd like again, tell me. I'm sorry, Cindy. It looks like as though this time I've gone and stolen your husband from you. Uh-huh. To think that you'd actually have a husband that's the department manager for a huge bank like that. I've been so jealous of you being married to an elite like him. It's driven me nuts. That's why, like last time, this time he's mine. What are you going on about? My husband has no reason to be cheating on me with a woman like you. My husband actually happens to love me very much and is straightforward enough where if he stopped having feelings for me, he'd say so. I'm sure this is all hard for you to believe, but he's gone and chosen me now. He had been saying no to all of my advances for a little while now, but finally, today he said he's going to go out with me, and now we're going out to a bar together. The fact that he's willing to go out with me to a bar at night just goes to show that he's completely fallen for me. He's already forgotten about you, and I'm hoping tonight we can make that official by taking things to a hotel room. What? You think him saying yes to going out with you tonight to a bar is him showing that he no longer loves me? Well, would he ever go out with another woman one-on-one for drinks that late night in the evening? In other words, this all shows that he does not care about you as his wife anymore. He's only focused on me now. Well, even if that were to be the case, don't you have a husband yourself? Do you plan to stab Jackson in the back now? Of course I do. I'm going to hop off his slow train and onto your husband's luxurious and fast one. Really? He may be working for a very large company and all, but him making it to the top is going to take forever. Compared to him, your husband is by far the better choice for me. At the age he's at, he's already managed a position as the department manager for a bank that popular. I need him to be mine right now. He will definitely be the perfect choice as my next lover. Man, I feel so bad for poor old Jackson then. And also, since I'll become the wife of a department manager at the bank, I'll be able to get my funding for my bank, no questions asked. That means I'll have my business up and running in no time. No bank is ever going to offer financing like that to another family member. This bank is far from that kind of practice and will make sure you go through the same process as everyone else. Shut the hell up! All you are is a base level employee there and know nothing about that bank's practices. What? Compared to your husband, you'll never move up in that bank, so you're better off just shutting up and letting all this play out. You won't be able to do anything about us in your position anyway, as your husband is currently the department manager and he might soon fire you. And actually, since you've already lost to me again, go ahead and start working on those divorce papers and hurry up all this for me. That man is now mine and I'll have access to all of his money. Do you have any idea who I am? Huh? I guess you have no reason knowing who I am since you're just a loser. You were even able to take a good look at who I was walking into the bank last month, and yet you still have no clue about me. Hold on now, you have no right making fun of me now when you're still a low-level employee there. I'm just calling an idiot. What's so wrong with me doing something as correct as that? You think that I'm actually a simple employee here? I'm above my own husband in this company as I'm the company executive for this bank. I happen to have a lot more difficult of a job than he even has, and in return for that, I literally am making the bank. So you really have no place calling someone like me a low-level employee. What? The company executive? What is that position? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. An idiot like you would never be able to understand what someone in my position is. Banks area actually run a little differently than your average companies when it comes to business. When you talk about department managers in banks, they are actually the branch manager, and the person above them that directs everything is called the company executive or just the executive. And so by what you've told me, you're actually the executive for that bank? That's right. Yet you said I can't do what my husband, the branch manager, is able to do? How hilarious! There's no way he's able to do anything without my approval first. I have more rights than anyone in this bank after all. Huh? And when you've told me that you've gone and stolen my husband from me and everything, I have to say I'm sorry for you. You think my husband would ever throw someone like me who's making so much money right now away for someone with no money? Today I'm going out to dinner with my husband as it's actually the day of our wedding anniversary. Your guys' wedding anniversary? Yeah. Today we have been married to one another for 3 years now, and that's why we're going out to dinner to celebrate. You think he'd really want to go out to you on a bar on an important day like this? But he said he wanted to go out with me tonight to the bar. He told me he'd be waiting for me there and everything. He was the one that messaged me and everything about our date plans. I don't care about the fact that you're some kind of executive, because that means nothing when you're about to lose your husband.
So this is who my wife's been talking to. When did I ever say to you that I'd be going out to the bar tonight with you? It's disgusting that you'd even think that of a married man, so stop with your crap.
Huh?
It's been a little while, right? I'm Cindy's husband, Martin, if you couldn't already tell.
Martin! Why would he say all of this is disgusting to you? You were the one that said yes to going out on this date with me tonight, right? You told me that you'd be waiting at Freezy's bar just downtown for me.
I told you to never talk to me about anything else ever again, and said for you to always remember what I said to you. The only thing I said yes to you about was having you come to that bar tonight, at the place we're having dinner, so that I can show you how much I love Cindy.
What? You plan to show me something like that?
I've told you so many times to shut the hell up and leave me alone. Yet every time you come back saying you're a better woman than my wife. And then you follow that up with asking me whether or not I'm tired of Cindy yet. You have kept all of that up for so long that it's really drove me up a wall. But look, Tiffany, I don't like that you have my wife involved in all this still, when she has a lot of work to focus on. So that's why I said we could go out tonight and that you could meet me at the restaurant and bar to see me with the woman that I love. I was surely hoping after seeing that you'd give up. That's the reason for me saying yes to you wanting to go on a date, and that's why I've been waiting.
That's what's going on? None of that was about you wanting to actually go on a date with me? And you're going to tell me that you didn't fall for my beauty?
What about you was so beautiful again? Don't say something so embarrassing about yourself like that, please.
Uh-huh.
I really like myself a woman that puts all her effort into her work like my wife. I find that kind of thing beautiful about my wife, and it gets me to love her so much. But comparing her to someone that thinks it's okay to steal men from other women and then openly flaunt about it? No way in hell. Not happening. To me, nothing about that is beautiful.
Huh?
I do find your drive to open your own business really cool. But the fact that